If you want to call it a yard, it is crabgrass, weeds, a little bit of fescue here and there, and some volunteer warm seasons that have come up from the neighbor zoysia. But for all intents and purposes, I have a crabgrass, weedy yard. Come a couple months, this yard will be bright green and beautiful. It's a little trick called Annual Rye Grass. And people have been very doubtful that I can just broadcast this into the yard, into the standing vegetation without aerating and without tilling, without scarifying or anything. I can just broadcast it and it germinates. This is just dried up, almost dead crabgrass. I always like to do this no earlier than middle of September, so September 15th on, but no later than the middle of October. You could just use a bag spreader to do this, or a little handheld spreader, but I do have an electric spreader on the ATV that I use for food plots. So when I get done making my food plots, I leave the spreader on here. The last thing I do is spread ryegrass before I put it up for the winter. Just good old annual ryegrass. There's nothing special to it. It's very forgiving. It'll germinate and grow just about anywhere. If I dropped it on the gravel, it'd start growing right here. So if you come down in here in this thatch, we'll just start digging around in the thatch here. There's a ryegrass seed right there. There's this organic layer sitting down in here, and that seed sits on the organic layer. You get a little bit of moisture on here, and the rest of this starts to die off with the winter, and it's a really nice mulch cover. This goes really fast. I actually had to turn the hopper down to only about half because you can really put the seed to it. Ryegrass seed has been spread. Next time you see me, we'll have a green yard. Out here 10 days after planting, and you can see we've got a lot of ryegrass coming up nicely up through this standing existing crabgrass. Those are all the tall little blades you see. That's all annual ryegrass that's popped. It's already 3 or 4 inches tall almost in some areas. 10 days after planting. November 10th, we just had one more little tropical storm come through, and grass is looking awesome. Greened up really nice. Everything looks really good. This was just broadcast overseeding annual ryegrass. November 17th, a couple days later, we had another inch of rain about 5 days ago, and boys and girls, I gotta cut my grass. This ryegrass is good 7-8 inches tall. First mowing of the ryegrass, December 1st. Even did a little stripe game, just showing off at this point, right? Except for that little guy, don't worry about that little guy. That's it, broad spreading annual ryegrass. Let it run to a nice little mature level, fresh cut, guaranteed green, and it'll look like this all winter long, all the way up through April and sometimes even into May. So I would highly recommend, if you've got a yard that's predominantly crabgrass or weeds, get you a couple bags of annual ryegrass, spread it mid to late September through October, and just let it go to town. Really appreciate you guys following along on this one. Something a little bit different, but thought it might be helpful to the masses out there, not just us wildlife people. So appreciate you following along. As always, we'll catch you on the next one.